This is Arts and Crafts with Luba Carlson, and this is our art journaling edition, which I am very excited about because I chose home as the main prompt. And then since we're getting into fall weather and it's very beautiful, so I'd like to use fall as my supporting prompt for the next page that we're going to be working on. So in the previous episodes, we took time to create our own book, so you can always look that up and find it. And we had a page to celebrate ourselves, and we worked on some watercolor techniques and created little elements that we can use in our journal. They're called fodder. And so now we are going to work on the new spread, which is going to be going right here. So before we start, let's talk about supplies we're going to be using today. So this is kind of my travel toolbox. Some things change in there and some things do not, but I think I have everything here that we're going to need. And of course I have scissors. I do have this little fan for when I need to dry something fast and I do not have my heat blower or air dryer or anything like that on me. Glue sticks, permanent glue sticks, then a whole, a bag of coloring pencils, which do not need to be anything fancy, just regular Crayola pencils work just fine here. I have some black waterproof pens. It is important that we use waterproof things so that they do not bleed when we start layering things on top. Sharpies are probably the easiest to get wherever you are. And let's see, we have my watercolor set. Doesn't need to be that big. As long as you have some sort of watercolor, it would work. Something new I'd like to introduce you to is watercolor brushes. They're called water brush. And what happens with these is that they have this little container, so to speak, that you can fill up with water. And when you start painting your watercolor, you simply put your brush on your paint or in your palette where you need to mix it, and then you can just paint without having to deal with jars of water and worrying about that. And the simplest way to clean it is actually to just have some sort of a washcloth or a rag, and you simply clean your brush on the washcloth and it's ready to go again. Okay. What else do I have here? I have a pencil just in case. I have a couple of rolls of washi tape, and I will show you why we need that. And of course, I have my white Posca pens. They really are the best that I found if you want to add some highlights or white color on top of your work, but you need to be mindful about the fact that they are not waterproof. So they go on, it's like the last thing that goes on, and if you really, really need to seal, do not use a brush to seal, but use something like a spray to seal your work. Okay, I think this covers what was in the box. Let's see, let's just set this out and put the box out of the way. I also have my pretty huge binder. It has a whole lot of scrapbook paper, designer paper. So whenever I have something that, pretty small pieces, I try to color code them and put them in here. We'll be using something like this. If you do not have scrapbook paper, you can always use magazine paper or maybe an old newspaper. Just look around your home and see if you have anything colorful that you can add. You can also use fabric remnants if you have something like that. Be creative. Don't say no to a project just because you don't think you have something. See around and see what you have. I'm pretty sure you'll find something good. And the last thing that I have, just some used they are leftovers from something. It's just paper. You can use printer paper or a little bit heavier paper as a base for the collage that we will be working on a little bit later. All right, so let's push this to the side a little bit. We're not gonna need it right now. And we are going to start with creating a background for the town. And I really, really, really want it to look like fall. For that, I will probably need some sort of blue, light blue for my sky. And I'm gonna create like landscapey background painting right here, very loose colors. And I want to have a lot of trees in the background before I put my town in, whatever I'm gonna do with that, you know. It's a process, it's always a process. So let's see how we can do that. If you do not have a water brush, it is absolutely fine. Just use your regular brushes. Grab something that you can use and pull out your colors. See what you want to make, and just let's jump into it. I'm gonna grab some lighter blues. Oh, that fell apart. That's okay, well, not big deal. Just open my water brush, and I think I'm gonna work with maybe like this bright, super cool blue. It really looks like cerulean. And maybe I'll add some undertones of this that looks more like turquoise. These are paints that I got from some Asian website. And so everything is, there is not a word in English here except for the word watercolor. So there is no way to know what the colors really are. But you know, we can play with this. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with my blue. Simple as that. You just work your water brush in your watercolor, and then as you go onto your paper, you want to add like really loose, kind of rounded strokes. Now, if your paper is, if you're working on cardstock or maybe mixed media paper, it can take a little bit of pressure and a little bit of going back and maybe working that watercolor into your paper. But if your paper is thinner, more like your notebook paper, or maybe you have printer paper quality in your journal, I would suggest to maybe glue 2 pages together so you have more of the support, and you will really need to work super, super fast while adding color. Oh, don't tell me. Of course it's empty. Okay. I somehow forgot to refill my brush, which is okay. I'll just set it aside and grab another one. It's good that I have a few. There we go. I'm just going over, and I'm squeezing the brush a little bit so that it's releasing a little bit more water into what I'm trying to achieve here. Okay, let's get a little bit of that turquoise and add it to my sky. I am not trying to like match my borders or anything like that. I'm just creating a very, very loose sky. That's all I want. Okay, and then I'm going back and I'm picking up a little bit of the darker tones that I have, and I'm spreading them a little bit more to just have a more cohesive look to this. All right, I'm quite happy with that. I'm gonna wipe the brush off. And now I'm gonna switch to my fall colors that I want to use for my trees, which are going to be my reds, yellows, and I really, really like my, I call it golden green. I don't know if that's what it is. It's almost gone. I really like that color. So I'm gonna play pretty much with these, okay? So I'm thinking that probably I'll have quite a few trees. There's a lot of space here, and I'm going to create different shapes for the trees before I start going there. So in the previous episodes of art journaling, I showed you how to paint wet on wet, which means that you will add a shape with just water. So I'm just squeezing the brush, and it's really hard to see. So sometimes you have to kind of look at it at an angle, and even getting a little bit of the sky into there, that's okay. And then I'm gonna pick up some of my fall colors and just drop them into water. Now, the better your paper quality is, the better this will work. It works the best on good quality watercolor paper, but that paper is very, very thick, and so it really, I don't think it makes very good art journaling pages. Okay, just adding a little bit of orange, and now I'm gonna add a little bit of green in the spaces that are left. Doesn't this look like a fall tree? I think it does. All right, clean out my brush, and then I'm gonna step aside and leave some white space right here for this to dry, because otherwise it's gonna all blend together. And I'm gonna move right here and create a different shape for the tree, and I'm gonna make it a little bit lower. I do not wanna have like a straight line of trees. It looks a little bit, not so organic, you know, unless it's a forest. Looks like my brush didn't clean very well. Let's do that again. Gotta squeeze some water into it and work into your washcloth, or maybe you're using a paper towel. There we go. Okay, so here we go. So I'm making like a taller shape, more like a cone. I am going up into the sky, and I'm not concerned about that because sometimes the sky shows through the leaves when you look at your trees, and it's beautiful. Okay, let's try and get some warmer yellow. And just add, I'm not going to put a lot of yellow on the blue part because that's going to mix into green. That's not the goal. Clean that up. Now let's grab some green. This is a brighter green compared to what I used before, so I'm just going to give it a go. It's a different tree, so why not? Just random spots, random, absolutely random. Okay, and maybe let's add a little bit of like this brown, just a little, just to give it some spots indicating that, hey, it's fall. Fall is coming. All right, that's good. Let's check my brush. Is it clean? Yep. Let's step aside a little bit again. What kind of a tree should we make? Let's make something round. So there is a little bit of yellow left, so probably this will help you see what I'm doing with just water. Just creating a shape. Does not need to be a perfect circle. And let's start with this super pretty color. I think this will be, ooh, pretty. Take random spots and stop. Go back and clean so that we do not contaminate other colors. And maybe let's grab some of this brighter red. Fill that in a little bit. Ooh. How pretty is that? It's super bright. Love it. Okay. And then I remembered about those deep purple color maple trees, I think. in my neighborhood. I really like them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of violet right in here, just to add a little bit of that. There we go. Okay. All right, let's do another. Right here. What should we do? It's always, oh, I know. We're gonna do the crown that spreads out like a cloud. And I have a little bit of purple left on my brush, so it allows you to see where I'm putting water. Super random. Let's do more of orange. Just fill it in. There's a lot of water in this one. Clean, clean. Let's maybe add some yellow. Yep, I brought some orange into my paint, but that's okay, it'll clean. And just drop in some yellow in there. And I'm just gonna leave this, look at that. I hope it's not gonna take forever to dry, but that's pretty, I think. Okay, now let's add a tree right here in this opening. And we're gonna let's do another round. Oh, maybe we could do the one that has, nah, let's just do a round. Okay, my brush is not clean, and that's okay. I just want to make big, nice round tree that goes in front of the trees that I already painted, and that's okay that it overlaps like this and it shows like that. So that's going to be one. And I'm going to try and pick some of the moisture from this one and bring it here, some of that water, because there is a whole lot of water. That will take hours to dry. We don't want that. Okay, let's add something, some brighter colors. It's pretty random the way we add colors to these. Maybe some darker green. This is more like olive green that I'm adding right now. It's pretty watered down. Okay, now let's add a tree right here, and it's gonna go lower. And I think I still have some color on the brush, so you will be able to see it. It's gonna go right in here. Just a shape. Add water to it. Okay, decide what colors you want to put on this tree. I'm doing bright orange right here on the side. And you know what? I'm gonna grab this orange and go back to this tree because it kind of got super pale, and just give it a little bit more color. Okay. And now let's give it a little bit of, let's do green again. That first one that we used, oh, that's a lot of orange on my brush, that's okay. Oh, look at that. All right, I'm gonna call the trees done for now. We're gonna let them dry, and while they're drying, we're going to create our collage boards. They're also known as master boards, and the way you do this is by putting a whole lot of collage pieces on the same page and then using it. Okay, that can dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab a piece of paper. Let's push this aside. And then I have washi tape. And I have a whole lot of different collage papers and stuff. So you pretty much go through what you have and you decide what you want to use. Now, since I'm going to make little houses out of this, I am kind of a little bit particular about what I want color-wise. This will work. Both sides actually will work. Okay, I'm going to save that. Let's see what else I have here. I have some painted paper. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, let's save that. Let's see what else I have in this first pocket. Orange, nope. I'm gonna leave orange for my trees. Green, nope. I do not want any green because I want that to stay for my trees. I'm gonna keep that there. But I'd like to add a couple more colorful options that are not green. So let's take a look at, ooh. Okay, let's go here. So this is a book of painted pages that I did quite a while ago. Let's see, oh, I like that. Let's use this one. Oh, maybe use this one for some relief on the color. And maybe this one. Okay, that's plenty. What we're going to do next is we're going to rip all of these pieces into random strips, shapes, whatever have you. So simply grab and tear. If you're short on time, you do not want to make a gazillion of teeny tiny pieces because it really does take a bit of time to glue them on. But if you have the time and you really want to play with that, that's a lot of fun. That works. Just some random shapes. Okay, I want to use like this part right here. So I'm going to tear this apart. They will go back in the binder and they'll be used for something else. Okay, that's a nice bunch. Ooh, I like all of this. Yep, let's use all of that. And quite honestly, from the amount of paper that I see right now, I think I have enough pieces to cover this paper and not need to grab that one. So let's see. Well, I'm also using my washi tape, so it's not just these. Okay, let's put this aside. All right, so specifics about washi tape is that it will stick, but it really needs a little bit more glue on it to stick, for good. So what I like to do is I would unroll it. And just put some glue on it. Just a decent amount, doesn't need to be too much. Okay, find the spot where I would have it, maybe here, doesn't really matter. Okay, and then tear off, if it would work, yep, tear off the part that doesn't have glue. So this allows me to have a little bit more in the background, so the background is not just white, like stark, scary a little bit, right? Because white can be intimidating. I really want glue on the ends. Okay, and for this one, look at that. It's doing collage already. It's just doing whatever it wants. It's all right. Just grab some random pieces. Again, if you don't have washi tape, use what you have. Use what you have on hand. Maybe you have stickers. Maybe you have stamps. Come on. So this is a very good start for what I'm trying to achieve here. Let me grab couple more random pieces just to fill this in. Maybe one more. And next we will use our permanent stick glue. You can use whatever glue you like. And we will start layering the pieces that we just tore, all of these. We're gonna start layering them right here, okay? I'm gonna start while we're on a little break. This is the end of this episode, and we will finish working on this page in the next one. I'll see you next time.